Mic check. Mic and music check. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Mic's fine, fantastic. I hope you hear the music as well. It should be coming in a little light. Hey, DM Crusader, Random Ladybird, thank you, thank you. Welcome back, both of you. Hope you had an amazing week. How's your weekend going so far? Good morning, Tropism. Hi, Atlan. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Hope you're well. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Got some cool stuff to share on the stream today. Good. The music should be relatively light. I'll turn it up just a bit, but overall it should be pretty quiet. Anyway, recovering from a late game night. How'd the game night go? Tell us about it. Time paradox story? Cool. Hey, Nani, how are you? Nice, DM Crusader. That's cool. Sounds very cool. Well, let's check out our itinerary for today's show. Hey, Chim, welcome back. Hope everyone can hear me okay. The music is just cycling to a new song, so you probably won't be able to hear me or hear that at least for a moment. Welcome, one and all, to the weekly Dungeon Alchemist map-making show. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Today's stream will be roughly 2.5 hours long. We have several segments, which we're going to cover right now, the itinerary for today's stream, before we move on. Our first segment of the day will be news, which going forward, news will also incorporate the Cartomancer Chronicles from the previous week, because there is a lot of useful information in there. So I'm going to kind of just cover the Cartomancer Chronicles, and then we'll cover the teasers every Saturday. Sounds good? Hey, Fox, welcome back. Rev, hello, hello. So starting off the stream, we have the news segment where we have the Cartomancer Chronicles and some teasers with bubbles and furniture, upcoming assets for future updates. Followed immediately by the Dam Challenge, where we will showcase maps from the Hidden Place theme. Fox, I didn't see your entry in the Discord. Did you get it submitted to at least the workshop? Maybe. Oh no, that's a bummer. Your map was really cool. Well, even still, no worries. Maybe you can still share it later. After, oh, you're pretty sick. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get feeling better, my friend. So immediately after the Dam Challenge, we had, by the way, 5 entries, amazing entries. We'll showcase all of those. And then we'll go into Dungeon Alchemist Q&A. Dungeon Alchemist Q&A is where if you have any, inquiries, support related, maybe you're having trouble with, building a certain style of map, or you're wondering how someone built something you saw in the workshop. Maybe you don't even know how to use the workshop. During that segment, you can ask questions related to Dungeon Alchemist in AMA format, which means ask me anything, and I will do my best to provide you real-time live assistance. Immediately following the Q&A segment, will be our workshop segment, which we will showcase assets from the workshop. I will go through and look and see some new recent uploads, download them, check them out, see how they work, etc. Afterwards, if there's still time, will be a feature showcase where we will show off tokens, how the token feature from the left menu works, and how it's possible to incorporate Hero Forge into your tokens, as well as tokens from the Steam Workshop. Alrighty? Okay, let's just move right on to it then. Bubbles and furniture. You'll see. It's two separate things. So, first off, we've got... Oh, where is my camera? Weird. Oh, you know what? Left my lens cap on. Sorry about that. So, I'm paranoid about my camera feed being hijacked. And rather than leaving it, especially after like where that random frame of me like without my shirt on came on that one time, like it was embarrassing, it was strange, and it made me feel vulnerable. Anyway, I basically have decided to leave the lens cap on constantly before the stream goes live. And then I take it off once it's live. So there will be no accidental, camera leaks. I'm sorry you're feeling sick, Fox. It really does stink. I'm sorry, man. Okay, so for news, let's take a look at the Cartomancer Chronicles. Hey, Pokey Tavern, how you doing? Welcome back. So, Cartomancer Chronicles this week and every week. It posts on Monday every week. If you don't have it pop up when you load Dungeon Alchemist, you likely aren't subscribed to receive new issues, which you can access the Cartomancer Chronicles through the top menu. If you click the Cartomancer Chronicles tab there in the top menu, you can go to read latest edition and it shows you this week's edition. You can click subscribe there, and then every Monday when there's a new edition that week, when you first load up Dungeon Alchemist, it'll show it to you. I would really appreciate it if everyone here supported the Cartomancer Chronicles, because there's a lot of unique and useful information in there for both new users and long-term veterans of Dungeon Alchemist. Every week I highlight upcoming events. So our next Damn show, which is next Saturday, we have an interview with one of our art team, Pokemon, or Magdalena Bok. She will be hanging out with us on stream for a live interview where we will, open up the chat to allow, you guys and gals to ask questions. And I'll also have questions for her. And if you can't attend the stream and you want to ask her questions, you can ask them in our Discord. Can you grab the link for that post, Atlam, so people can go check it out? You can drop your questions in there, and we will cover them on the stream, and then I'll put a link there for the VOD, and you can watch it on your own time. So our next two Damn shows with interviews, so this on the 6th and the 20th, we have interviews with members of our dev team. We have Magdalena on the 6th, and we have Quentin on the 20th. You may know them around our Discord as Pokemon and Inquisitor. So both of them being able to join us on the stream for interviews is very awesome. Very excited to have them. Okay, let's see here. So, tips and tricks, I'm not going to cover that so much, but it is a neat trick that teaches you how to make roads using the room tool. So you may want to check out this tip and trick on your own time. Here I'm highlighting a shark, which there's a lot of cool animal assets on the workshop. This particular one is very small in size, only, just under 3 megabytes. Great asset if you're looking to add some sharks to your map. Okay, I don't want to get copyright striked. Back to Cartomancer Chronicles. This map here, the Stranglewood Estate, very beautiful map. Oh, crap, I unsubscribed from all assets and maps last night, and then subscribed to all the Dam Challenge ones, and I forgot about this one. I might have to download it, the assets again. Anyway, beautiful map. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a lovely little estate map with like a, if I recall correctly, there was a maze, like a hedge maze and some other stuff. Here, let me pull it up really quick. Won't take but a moment. So how's everyone's weekend going so far? And how was your week since we last just hung out on Monday? So, yep. It's got a lovely little hedge maze in the back. And just to clarify, there's an underground like structure. It's like a mausoleum type thing. And then some baths. And of course, the above ground structure is just absolutely stunning and well built. Highly recommend you check out this map on your own time. But the point of the Cartomancer Chronicles is for me to highlight, community efforts, Dam Challenge winners, cool maps and assets on the workshop, upcoming events. So if you could check out the Cartomancer Chronicles every week, subscribe to it, it would mean the world to me. And if you're interested in past editions, you can always check archives and see, one of the 160 plus issues that we've put out. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening to my spiel on that. Let's go on to teasers. So, I showed you bubbles a couple weeks ago. They've been improving the hue and variety of how bubbles will show up. I think every time you generate one, they'll be slightly different, which is kind of cool. Here is an animation of some bubbles. Well, wait. Why is it not playing? Weird. Let me open it again. There we go. But I guess they slightly shift their color over time. That's what it is. Still injured at home? I'm so sorry to hear that, Pokey Tavern, but I'm glad you're here hanging out with us. Yeah, they have a little bit of a wobble to them. Yeah, that'll be fun, random ladybird. There's a still look at the bubbles if you want to check them out again. One more thing I want to add to this. Another teaser, actually. Sorry. Is some upcoming furniture. So there's the new lovely, massive couch. I don't even know what you would call this. Very beautiful, though. And I'm sure it'll come with the option to recolor it like the other couches do that are similar to this. So there'll probably be a few preset color options like purple, green, black, etc. Appreciate you all being patient as we got to these teasers. I know most of you are more interested in the teasers than the Cartomancer Chronicles. So, very beautiful couch. Very excited for the next update because there's going to be a lot of new cool objects. Okay. Let's move on to our next segment, which is the Dam Challenge. Give me just one moment. The winning map, I was just absolutely enamored by Hieronymo's map. There was some really great entries and all had a lot of secret or hidden intrigue. But what really got me on this one was just how lifelike and well decorated this map was. So, Hieronymo, congratulations. And also, welcome back. I know you've been on the hiatus for a while. I don't even know if he's watching right now. But he has not been very active in our Dam Challenge map making contest, which he is arguably one of the people who have entered most over the years. Um, and honestly, this map is just really fun to explore, really beautiful, lots of like little curiosity to it. And it just reminds me of some sort of like kind of a desert style town, you know? And I love how everything has, it's almost like the entire city structure, the street structure is an alley. Very beautiful map. Encourage y'all to check it out, which we will be doing. It does have a CSGO vibe to it too, huh? For sure. But this would be a brilliant encounter map. And you've got multiple levels, roofing and interior, and the streets. Oh, right, Random Ladybird. One other bit of news that I forgot to share. I totally forgot to share. So, y'all know that we have these plushies of Hendrik, right? And we've been doing giveaways of plushies. And I've been talking about we're going to be doing a giveaway soon. I just really wanted to make sure something would work before I did this next announcement related to giveaways, or before we actually made the announcement for a giveaway. But let me show you what I've been working on behind the scenes, and I think you guys will be excited. This is a 3D printed Hendrik. I was recently gifted an amazing gift by a good friend who gifted me an amazing 3D printer. I've been in 3D printing for over a decade, and my printers were kind of dated. They were falling apart. It's hard to get parts for them. They're slow. They need lots of maintenance and tender love and care. It's like maintaining a classic car, right? And anyway, my friend gifted me this printer, top of the line, new stuff. In my eyes, it's top of the line. It's got so many improvements, and it just feels like 3D printing has come leaps and bounds. Anyway, sorry to distract from Hieronymo's amazing win, but I'm going to be giving away 2 Hendriks in an upcoming giveaway. We'll have a grand prize and a runner-up prize. So 2 winners will get a Hendrik in the next giveaway. I may even try printing a little bit smaller than this Hendrik. This one's like palm-sized, right? This one, obviously, like, you know, teddy bear size. I was thinking of printing one that's a little bit smaller. But the thing is, this print here took 25 hours, actually. There was hundreds of color changes to get it to do this, right? And basically, when you do a multicolor print like this, there's tons of waste because in between color changes, basically there's a term, a technical term in the 3D printing community. The waste are called poops. It essentially will shoot out large chunks of plastic between color switches and ejects them into a large basket that I have behind the printer. Let me show you this bag, and I tried to minimize waste in this print. This is all the poops from this project. I did have a failed print that only got about a third the way, so keep that in mind. And I did print one entirely without like with minimal color changes, but it's anyway, a lot of waste, right? I've got a project for these in mind. Anyway, I've got a project for these where we won't be wasting them. I'll tell you more about that later. That said, to minimize waste, I did a secondary print so you can offshoot essentially the waste into another print that just doesn't look that great because it's got weird layering. But if you plan to paint it or you don't mind, it looks great. So Mrs. Mac asked me to print her a Totoro. So this here was printing right next to Hendrik. And essentially, every time it changed the color, it would offshoot a lot of the waste into this print. there's several ways to recycle the poops. So what I plan to do with these is I'm going to grind them up into smaller pieces. I can print a jig and use a drill to grind them up into smaller pieces. It's like a chute that you put a drill bit through with some bearings and grinds it up. Anyway, I'm going to put them into a smaller pieces, and I'm going to print some mold forms using either ABS or PETG for dice. And then I'm going to push these into the mold forms, heat it up, put it in there, and press it and make dice. So that's one of the many options I have. So other people use them to, they definitely won't be perfect by any means, but they'll be fun dice regardless. And also I like maracas. People make like instruments where they put these inside, or like rain sticks and stuff like that. So they don't necessarily waste these, but a lot of people will also separate the colors and recycle the filament to be re-spooled and then reprinted. So it really just depends on what ultimately there's a lot of options. But the crazy thing about this with the dual print, it took longer to print just this unit by itself and wasted more filament just to print this unit by itself than it did to print two objects. It took like 5 hours less time and wasted like 400 grams less filament to have all the runoff between switches go into this secondary object. Isn't that weird? So I get 2 for 1 in less time. Make it make sense. It's weird. Anyway, back to the damn challenge. I'm sorry I got distracted. That is important news. So I'm just excited that I can print these on site for giveaways. Going forward, we'll be able to have like endless Hendrix. Because it was like a big deal to get these commissioned. We only have a limited run of the plushies. When they're gone, they're gone. But with this, now that this model is configured and I've got the slicing pretty good, I can essentially print these whenever I want. We can scale it up, make it larger. All I need is filament. Anyway. That is the only downside of this new printer, is the waste. Because my old printer wouldn't have waste like that. It would just print all into the print in one color. That's the upside of only using a single color. There's no waste in the print. It's just all there. Other than supports, right? Which, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of supports for this. I'm going to share a time-lapse video of the print later on the Discord if y'all want to see it. Maybe our social media too. But I digress. I want to get back to the damn challenge. Very, very excited to kind of explore this map with y'all. So what Geronimo has done is sort of set it up as a lovely little, I would just call this a portion of a larger city. This could just be a square, block of a city. Lovely design. We got some water canals. It really is a great way to reduce waste, for sure. I really don't like waste. That's why I was excited to learn that I could offshoot the majority of the waste into a secondary print. And Mrs. Mac was happy because she's just gonna paint it, or even just leave it as is. It looks kind of cool. It kind of looks like a Halloween or maybe a Thanksgiving themed Totoro, if you will. Anyway, I'm really excited by how both prints turned out. Very minimal cleanup required, and it'll be ready to ship. I'm also very excited for a lucky member of our community to get their hands on it. And I'm likely already going to start printing another one relatively soon. Because I want one for me. I love how interconnected the city is. It's just fun to explore. I feel like I'm in an Assassin's Creed game or something. Parkour. Oh, wait, where's this go? Parkour. Hey, there's a bath. That's funny. This is a raft, but that's a great use of this on this in this environment. It just looks great because it's all dried out wood. Yeah, right? Doesn't it feel like it's, I don't know, it just feels like alive. Like this little back alley here. Geronimo, wherever you are, congratulations. Right? Can we get some congratulations to our friend Geronimo in chat? Just a lovely map. Lots to explore, very usable for combat encounters or just like a pit stop for your players. But the hidden place was the mysterious vendor who pops up in here once a week with a bunch of trinkets that no one seems to want. Here, let me look at the description really quick. Every now and then, a merchant turns up in an inconspicuous part of town who doesn't seem to be making enough money to afford a stall at the main bazaar. He keeps showing up with what appear to be the same goods, mainly offering his writing services and telling tales of adventurers from here and there. Stories are surely just tall tales, right? I like the mystery of the encounters. This could be a quest giver or someone selling some kind of mystical MacGuffin. I also just love the little alleys and stuff. Lots of little nooks and crannies in this map. Yeah, he did a really good job on this. Lovely build. Lovely build. Excuse me. Get some water. Hopefully that'll help me wake up. Okay. One moment. Alrighty. So big congratulations to Geronimo. We're going to move on to our next map. as we can't really probe Geronimo or ask him, you know, what he did on this map or how long it took. So we'll move on to showcase maps of people who are here. Nothing against him, but we got to get the show on the road. Okay. So next, let's see here. Let's just go in order here. We'll go to Swedish Cook. Swedish Cook won our previous dam challenge with his lovely tower. This map had a very kind of similar vibe to you know, the streets, surface streets kind of village with multi-tiered structures. A very similar feel to what Geronimo is offering, but also very unique in its own right. And I love this design. I love a compact village like this that is multi-tiered, you know, different alleys that are essentially the streets. I wouldn't call it the little brother map. I'd just call it a good paired map. I think they pair well together. You could easily have these in the same city or a similar, you know, adjacent city in the same setting. Very similar in design, for sure. But I think, you know, it's mainly because we have a limited asset set when it comes to desert cities, right? So there's not much you can do there. Let's go up to the top level, right? And then we'll break this down a level at a time. Where am I trying to zoom in at? Okay. I was upside down. There we go. So if you look at it, there's 7 levels, right? This is the highest point of the map, and then it kind of terraces down this direction slowly. And the lowest points are these like streets, alleys down at the bottom. There are stairs up to higher points and higher streets and higher alleys. Back alleys, if you will. Very well designed structure. Perfect for encounters, rooftop battles, etc. So let's go down a level at a time here. Excuse me. Love the use of your own tavern. Great synergy with your own assets there. Nice little shop. It's a very clean map with lots of interactivity and things to do. So you can bring your players here and do some shopping, have some drinks. Swedish Cook was in a sort of precarious position as he also was the winner of the previous dam challenge, and as a kind of a rule, an unwritten rule for judging, I don't allow someone to win twice in a row. What's a good shop side mission? Scooby-Doo? Are you still there? Shoot, I just noticed your message, man. I'm sorry. Love these little homes, right? Decor. Like Zoink, Scoob. What's a good shop side mission? Can you elaborate on what you're looking for there, Scooby? I mean, if your players are looking to get a particular item, let's say one of them's been wanting a very specific item, right? Carousing missions are great. And by that it usually is like a side quest chain. Hear me out. You know when you play an RPG and you're going to get the MacGuffin, the item, the goober, and then they're like, well, you got to go do this thing for me. And then that person's like, well, you got to go do that thing for me. And then it keeps going. So you could go to the shop and they could say, well, I could get a hold of that. I think I know someone who can, in my contacts, who can get that item. But I need you to do me a favor first. You know, something like that. And then they go out and do a side quest. Now, the side quest leads them to maybe someone who owes them money. So you got to go, you know, maybe be the muscle and get the money back from the person. Or maybe that person has an item that the other person, you know, was supposed to receive. Any number of things. You go get that, then that person sends you on a side quest because they're like, well, the item's with somebody else now. I traded it to them. Anyway, I know it sounds silly, but on paper and like out loud, but your players will definitely enjoy it. One small favor. Nice, Night Demon. That's a really cool, that's, you know, I've never really played RuneScape, but that's totally legit. That makes a lot of sense. You know, though, isn't that like a thing? If you say, can you do me a small favor? Like, most people won't, like, say no. Like, unless it's outrageous. I love this cannon just casually sitting here behind the counter. Just to remind the customers that you're strapped. Love this here too. Really great use of using the room tool to subdivide the room. This is technically another room within the room. There's just no walls, so he has a separate floor there, and it just makes it great for this smithy that's all rounded. Security. Swedish cook, did you hide your Swedish cook picture somewhere in the map? So I've been looking and I don't feel like I've seen it yet. Maybe I missed it. Of course, it's your calling card. We're the Wet Bandits. Ah, there he is. Herskaderb. Ooh. So this is where the intrigue of this map gets into play, the hidden place. Someone is caving their way into the bank. And if you can see here carefully, they've got ye old explosives ready to roll. Right on the other side of this wall is the bank vault. So obviously the dynamite will make a ruckus unless silence is in play. I would love to do a vault heist, but it's like we're robbing a bad guy because my character, for the most part, good. I don't want to rob the people. It'd be like an evil person. Anyway, moving on. That doesn't matter. I would love to be able to blow up into a place like this through like a, you know, a back entrance or something, but use silence to make it so no one even knows it happened. Look into the Golden Vault book. I think that's in my list. Someone's sharing it with me. I'm in my campaign, which my DM has a ton of books, and then I think it's Asmodeus who like invited me to one of their campaigns just so I get access to like all their content. I swear, Asmodeus has like every book. I often will have to ask my DM if he has a certain book just to make sure that content is in our campaign. I'm like, is this book okay for our campaign? He'll be like, what are you talking about? I don't have that book. I'm like, oh crap. I have a good library of books myself, both physical and digital. I've been starting to build them up in like physical though, because I like having my own copies of stuff. You do robbing for a good cause, Robin Hood style. So, Swedish Cook, how long did it take you to build this map, my friend? Excuse me. Had like a cat fur in the corner of my eye. It was itching me. $12, not bad. It's a beautiful map. You did a great job. I'm assuming in this case you set these as rooms, and now they're just, you know, balconies or roofs. Flat roofs. So these are just technically flooring with like half walls. It's like that desert village map. Really great, great idea. When you use like floors as flat roofing, it expands because roofing options are great. Oh my goodness. Hold on one moment. Hold on one moment. We got a celebrity here. Coming to say hi. Hi to Rhoda. Why don't you say hi to everyone? See more butts. Yeah, the thing is there's a bunch of flat roofs that are great, but when you use this method, make the roof into a room and delete its roof, then you have all of the flooring and half walls as options. There's roof borders and half walls, and like hundreds of floors to use. You can do all sorts of stuff. You smell so good.
Eyebrow needs space.
He needs a haircut. It's getting too hot. It's getting too hot. Maybe we'll give him a haircut later today. You okay, good boy? He's all wrapped up in a blanket. It's a donut. What the blanket looks like. He's just chilly. After bath, he's soggy. The soggy bottom boy. And he's a dog of constant sorrows. Anyway, Mom's gonna go put him on a heat pad and dry him up a little bit, brush him. He gets the treatment. Oh, dry his ears. Good boy. You good boy. All right, you go with Mom, okay? He is gonna be a hot dog soon. I'm cooking him though. I'm baking him a little bit. It helps. He's just so silent. Like he's not even real.
Except for the side eye.
He needs it. He gets stinky. He likes to lounge out on the patio and just sun. And after a while, he just smells. Ugh. He is a very good boy. With silver bells and whatever. What's the Mary, Mary, quite contrary? How does your garden grow? Here. Some of the blueberries are cockle shells. I haven't thought of that rhyme in like over a decade, so forgive me. Here's our some of our jalapenos. We split them up because so many sprouted, so we set them up in a separate, so these are out of the garden beds in their own pot. But there are some more in the garden beds. Is that what it is? Little maids all in a row? Thank you all. I honestly haven't thought about a nursery rhyme in a hot minute, so. Jalapenos. Like a lot of stuff is sprouting or getting a lot larger. This next map is Lord Revs. You see these red things? Those were 3D printed, and they help boost the leaves off the ground. I also printed some ground pins because Mrs. Mac is rooting these runners in this cup here, and they're already starting to root in a separate image I just don't have here. Anyway, a lot of progress. A lot of progress. These crests. We harvested a lot of the crests and been using them in our sandwiches the last few days. Carrots are getting there too. Whole lot of progress. Anyway, back to the dam challenge. So let's bring this map up. So here we have the baker and the butcher and the baker, the candlestick maker. Honestly, Anani, you can print so much. I've 3D printed in the last like 2 weeks tons of things you wouldn't even believe. I've 3D printed calipers, multiple caliper sets. So like I have some really nice digital calipers, but they stay inside at my desk. And sometimes I need them out in the garage, or I need, you know, at the craft station or in another place. And so I 3D printed some. I gave a set to my son. I put a set in the garage, and I gave a set to my wife. I also 3D printed a circular compass thing so you can etch out circles really easy. It's super cool. I 3D printed some palettes for Mrs. Mac to paint. Like, you can print all sorts of stuff. For the garden, I printed these little housings that hold these hydrometers. They're like thermometers, and like they measure the humidity in the air as well. So we kind of know at a glance how hot it is and how humid it is in the greenhouses. 3D printing's great. That said, I could also see it as downside. It could be introducing like tons of waste and microplastics. Like if lead was like, you know, the thing that like Gen X and boomers had to deal with, that microplastics is like millennials thing, I believe. Anyway, between everything we've been eating for years, packaged in plastic everywhere in our environment, and, you know, things like 3D printing where there's microplastics everywhere. That said, I love 3D printing. I swear by the tech. I think it's fantastic. I last night 3D printed so my son years ago, he asked me, Dad, I need a cup holder for my bed because he likes to watch movies from his bed, and he'd like a cup holder so he can chill there instead of having to put it on his desk or his table, which is on the other side of the room or whatever. So years ago, I designed from scratch and 3D printed him a cup holder that mounts onto his bed frame. And lately he's been like, man, Dad, I love this cup holder, but I'd like to like add some stuff to it. It was be cool if I could mount my phone on it, or if it could store stuff in it. And like he's got like little headphones and a little charger, kind of like, you know, like little rechargeable earbuds or whatever, and chapstick, other things. So it's like, okay, back to the drawing board. I designed and 3D printed one yesterday. It was printing all night, pulled it off the printer this morning, and brand new cup holder for him. It was in a glow in the dark filament. So it's like the same size cup holder, but I re-engineered the design to have a little phone caddy and also Has some little slots for like, oh, you want to throw maybe a chapstick in here or a pen, and then there's little kind of square space to put his headphone stuff in there and other stuff if he wants to. Yeah, 3D printing is getting really good and really consumer friendly. Like 10 years ago, it was difficult. It was very hard to use. Hey, John, welcome back. How's the shores of Lake Michigan? So we've got a lovely butcher here showing his wares. He's got the meats, okay? Is that type of stone, right? That glows when you shine like a UV light on it, right? Is that what that is? I've seen that like in documentaries and like YouTube videos and stuff. That looks super cool. That really only can be found in that region, right? How's the weather out there? So they do have a 3D printer in the International Space Station, and they printed like a wrench and a bunch of stuff up there since it's been on the on the space station. Really beautiful, high 60s. Fantastic, John. I'm glad you're having fun, enjoying yourself. Good luck on finding some Uperlights. But like my first 3D printer I got like over a decade ago, and my second one a couple years after that, my third a couple years after that. And in that time, even since then, like it's changed so much. This particular new printer I have, that's like night and day in like quality and speed, but also ease of use. Little things that used to be a pain in the butt, like leveling the printer and like making sure the filament was dry enough, and like making sure that the bed had enough adhesion. Removing prints from the bed, like any number of things. Finding a print online, slicing it, putting it on a card, putting that card in the printer. Just there was a lot of steps to 3D printing before. And this printer takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. It's crazy. It's nuts. Really enjoyed it. I know I keep getting sidetracked on 3D printing, but I'm going to be incorporating 3D prints into the stream a little bit more. Giveaways and potentially... I don't know, just fun little gadgets that might help with like DMing or storytelling, map making. I also like have to fill the time sometime. Understandable, Night Demon. Honestly, like I was very lucky to be able to get one now, just thanks to an amazing gift from a very good friend. So we've got a speakeasy hiding. Now I'm going to ask you which business do you think this was hiding under, the butchers or the bakers? It was under the baker. Well, it's technically under both, but it's the butcher's side hustle. Or I mean, not the butcher's, it's the baker's side hustle. So in the back room of the baker's is the door hidden behind some crates, which goes down to a speakeasy. We're just all up in the rhymes today. Lovely little practical map, Lord Rev. I could see this being great for, you know, your patrons. Because it's a simple map and it's a great encounter. Your players could come here just for some meat or some whatever, or to investigate something in the area, follow clues and checks and see if they can find the speakeasy or maybe find a way to access it. So, who was here on Mapmaker Monday when I was working on the landing page? So I was wondering who attended our stream Monday. On Monday's stream, we're working on a style of map called a landing page. And if you're not familiar with what that is, think of it like a loading screen for like a video game or a DVD menu where it kind of has, you know, like a set piece, some information or like design relevant to the campaign, some items, some images, stuff like that. So we're designing a landing page for the campaign I play in. And I started working on that Monday. No, we do not have a challenge theme yet. Well, you're in luck, Night Demon. You can watch the VOD both on Twitch or YouTube if you'd like. Also, here, let me just open it up and show you the progress I've made so far. If you cannot attend, the VOD is always a great alternative. If you're, you know, working, I know everybody's got different schedules. We stream on 2 different days, on 2 different times, trying to spread it out and give a little bit, you know, of options to, you know, the majority of our community. But it's understandable if it's not easy to make those times because you work or family or friend obligations, or maybe you're asleep. So just for those that missed out, this is what we kind of got done so far. And it's a work in progress, right? But this is a map from the campaign I'm in. And then here on the table, we've got some items. Asmodeus sent me a 3D model of the book that I shared the image of, but Mrs. Mac also made something for this. Hold on one second. And I think it's hilarious. So this is a wanted poster of our group. So in our group, we have 6 people. And 2 of the people in the group are rather small. I'm a halfling, and then we also have a fairy. So essentially, we joked about how it's possible that we might have been kidnapped children. So the joke is, you know, we've got these different people in the wanted poster. Evil lady, that's my wife's character. She's a tiefling. One of our characters, he wears his mask all the time, never takes it off. So identity unknown robot. Rockman, mean. So our paladin, and then we have a changeling in our group who's always in a dragonborn form, and then I'm a halfling, and then we have the fairy. So I just thought this is a fun wanted poster. So this will be something we add to the build. So we got a couple of custom items that'll kind of make it a little bit more bespoke, if you will. We're still going to be working on this Monday and adding to it, fine-tuning it. But for right now, this is kind of where we're at. So I scaled it up because I'm using force perspective to get it so we can fit almost everything in a single image. In fact, I might even have to scale some things down or some things up again. We'll see. Feel like that's a pretty good image. But you get the idea of kind of what I'm going for here. But it's intended to be kind of like a set piece for the campaign. It could be a scene in a virtual tabletop. It's like a loading scene when you land into the campaign, or like start the session each week or once a month or whatever. But the idea is to make it a little bit more custom is all. I'm just going to add this here really quick before I forget. It doesn't fit that one. Bummer. Well, we'll figure it out. It was intended for an abstract. Let's go back to the damn challenge maps. Let's show off our next map from Highland Lass. Honestly, I'm not a pro at making them, so I'm doing my best. There's some people in our community who are really good at them, but doing my best. Hopefully won't have to do much in the way of adjustment. Yeah, let's start discussing themes for the next challenge. So our last two challenges, this one was Hidden Place and the one before was Tower. I actually had a suggestion for a theme, but also I'm just going to open it up to the community for everyone to make one suggestion, okay, in chat. Whatever chat feed you're on, let us know what your suggestion for the upcoming Dam Challenge is. The Dam Challenge, for those that aren't aware, if you're new here or whatever, is our ongoing map making contest. When you save a map in Dungeon Alchemist, it's saved as a .dam file. That's our proprietary file format. It stands for Dungeon Alchemist Map. So we have fun with that. We have our Dam Challenge every 2 weeks. The last one was Hidden Place. Like I said, the one before that was Tower. The next one, we're going to pick a theme right now. So if you have any suggestions, please let us know. Please only make one suggestion per person. And after we've had suggestions for about 10, 20 minutes, we'll start voting on them. Okay? It is very enchanting. It's a very beautiful map. Got a lovely little pathway here, right? I love this like hand-paved path with all the scrap wood. Market would be good. I was thinking we do a stock asset build this week. Hey, Corruption Stew, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome, welcome. How you doing today? Honestly, Night Demon, even if a duplicate challenge is suggested, if it's been a while, I don't mind circling back because we get new people in our community all the time. So it's new to them, you know? The Dam Challenge has been going now for like 4+ years. So there's bound to once in a while be a repeat. As long as they're not too close together, I don't mind. And if you suggest something that was semi-recent, we'll let you know and you can make another suggestion. Sound good? So far we've got Market, Gambling Hall, Elven Hideout. All great suggestions. Boss Fight sounds good too. That's a good one, actually, Swedish Cook. So I was going to add the rule stock assets only this month or this week, or for this challenge, I should say, meaning no workshop assets allowed in this build. But I was going to leave it open to our community to be kind of the final say on that, if you're open to that extra challenge this time around. The extra rule, if you will. Prison is a good suggestion, Evil Penguin. I like that. Random Ladybird. What did you say? Where did she say it? I don't even see it. Nursery rhyme theme so far, right? Yeah, there has been a lot of nursery rhymes today. I think one time in the past, who was it? Blue Mage, I think, was it? Was it him that, or was it you, Random Ladybird? Someone did a map that had a bunch of Aesop's fables or nursery rhymes in it. Or was it Chim? I can't remember who it was. We have so many maps shared by our community. You did 3 Tales of 3. Wasn't there a couple? Because it was fairy tales, so a few people was the theme, so a few people kind of leaned into various fairy tales. You know, I see someone lurking. I don't normally like to call out lurkers, but this particular person, I do need to talk to them, so I'm going to call them out. Hopefully they're listening. They're listening right now. Chim. No worries. No worries. You did it. Blue Maids did it. Random Ladybird did it. I think several people had fairy tales in their, like all sorts of fables or, you know, nursery rhymes in theirs because the theme was fairy tale. So it makes sense. No worries. So the person I'm looking to call out, though, is Dirty Rollers. Dirty Rollers, are you there right now? Are you here? Are you present? Are you watching? Are you listening? I was wondering if you got your Hendrick. I do know that because of customs, it does take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for most people. Like mine took 3 weeks to get here. I don't know if they're here right now. I think they're just lurking. Oh, that's a bummer. No worries. I gotta say, this map is just beautiful. Dryad's house. Tons of flowers, tons of wisteria. Cute little cottage in the woods. It is pretty, isn't it? By the way, everyone, if you have a suggestion for our next dam challenge, let us know. Even if you don't want to if you can't participate, still let us know your suggestion. Though I would love it if anyone who made a suggestion also participated. But I understand, you know, stuff gets in the way. So here's our hidden place. There's a little workstation, a magic workstation, a lab, if you will, underground through a secret hatch. But I think we were all kind of partially correct there, Atlam. A few of them entries had nursery rhymed or fable themed, map design. So we were all slightly misremembering, but correctly remembering at the same time. It does look a little shady. Aren't dryads mostly like, all about nature and not death? Also, look at this meat up here. Definitely not a vegetarian. It's probably a good idea that we have a good collective memory because, like, the world is trying to memory hold tons of stuff right now. The internet used to be forever, and it's starting to very, very, very much be, like, overwritten, deleted. Segmented, gardened is what they call it, behind a garden wall. Either an ecosystem you have to pay to get into or sign up to access. Look at the size of that. How you doing, Bane? Welcome back. What's new with you, my friend? How's life? You know what? I think that's totally appropriate chat here. I think this build is so comfortable, like beautiful. The lighting's very, like, I would just love to live here. Looks great. Going to see The Mandalorian? I hope you enjoy it, my friend. I'm probably going to wait until it's on Disney Plus in like 3 months. Man, I don't know what it is, but I'm so over theaters. Maybe it's just theaters in Vegas in general, but the whole experience is just, eh. We were talking about in the past how you had maps with the different fairy tales, the fables in them. IMAX makes sense, bro. Bane, that makes sense. But I mean, I think as, streaming has transitioned to get movies faster, which, during the pandemic, it was like a month after they aired, they would be, or even the day they came out, they'd be on a streaming service. And people got kind of used to that. And honestly, TVs are bigger than ever before. They're cheaper than ever before. Streaming services are going up in price, but you don't need to subscribe to all of them. You can just do like one a month. And honestly, like, I just don't, I understand the appeal of theaters, but between the prices going up and theater etiquette going down, like, I have just gotten so irritated with the experience. I'm sure there's some movies that'll always be like better in that big screen experience. And I was talking to my wife about this actually almost earlier today, almost the exact same conversation, saying that like you'll never beat like the energy that was in the theater, like when like Darth Maul got cut in half in Phantom Menace and everybody just cheered, right? Or like when Captain America gets Mjolnir in the fight in Endgame against Thanos. It's like everyone just, the energy was palpable, right? You can't beat that experience, but at the same time, it comes with this monkey paw of now people on their phones, people streaming and recording and talking and filming and being obnoxious, running all over the theater. Like, yeah, you get it, what I'm saying, right? Like, I get it. Their theaters are great. Sorry to detract from what you're going to be doing. I'm so sorry. Honestly, like, I am jealous you're going to see Mandalorian. That's one of the few movies I've been interested in seeing in the theaters in the last few years. I think in Vegas, though, there's just like a lot of rude patrons at the theater. And you basically have to go when no one's there to enjoy it. Popcorn, drinks, concessions are ridiculously overpriced. And then you have the ticket prices are like $10, $15 a person or more. Man, when I was a kid, I could go to the theater with $4 and like see 2 movies, because I'd go to a matinee block special, 2-3 movies, and have a ton of snacks and treats and hang out with my friends all afternoon. I guess I'm just like, irritates me how much movies have changed. Miss movies of yesteryear. Bane. Oh my gosh. Honestly, yeah, that is a great experience, getting your food delivered to you right in your seat. I wish they had an app so when I'm at the theater, I could report people being ridiculous, and then they just send a guard in to deal with it. But see, I have a reclined heated seat at home, and I can just chill out by my oven and bake all sorts of foods with my, I could throw something in my air fryer and be in my pajamas. Right, Night Demon. Oh, the other part I hate is how many ads there are before movies. Like, I didn't mind previews, but now there's like an hour of ads. All these local shops and things they want you to check out, and ugh. I'm already paying to see the movie. Okay, let's go on to the next map. Does anyone have any other suggestions for our dam challenge, our next dam challenge theme? If you get there early enough, yeah, they'll have between a half hour and an hour of ads for the movie. I hope that now that Carl Urban's like getting really popular again, I kind of hope that there's a new Dread film. So this movie, this is not a movie. We're not talking about movies. This map, Random Ladybird's map, it looks like it's a legacy build here. You can see from the lock. So this was made prior to Fun with Objects 0.1 launching. And as you can see here, we've got this, looks like a little altar, but hidden throughout the map are a few ladybugs. Could I scroll over? I didn't realize there was writing on it. So, 1 gold sleeps you soft and grand, 2 gold feeds you close at hand, 3 gold games the night away. Tap them all to start your stay. So I'm assuming if you tap the 3 gold pieces as part of the puzzle, it will open up like entrance to Magnificent Mansion or some kind of pocket dimension or a portal to a hotel or something. I don't know. Random Ladybird, where does it take us to? We got a random ladybird right there. Hey, Primal, how you doing? Welcome back. I didn't realize they open. I didn't know. I thought these were just a coin or something. I didn't realize these were, my bad. Totally did not realize this before. So it's like a Galder's Tower, but in a tent form kind of situation. Lovely little private hangout for your players to get a nice long rest. Glamping for sure, for sure. I like this big cauldron of stew. Oh my goodness. We're going to be getting some ladybugs soon to put in our garden. Because already starting to see pests, you know, little things. So we want to make sure that we have like a counter. And now that we've got the greenhouses, they can kind of stay contained. We'll open them a couple times a day, so they'll probably end up leaving. But at least they'll kind of be centralized for a while. But we want to wait until there's a little bit more growth before we leave them in there. I think I found all the ladybugs. Yep, ladybugs can really be great for pest control, for sure. Whatever, there's just Marlin and Nemo and Gil and Dory. Man, they eat all sorts of stuff. Aphids, and they basically will just go ham. Oh, we have a hummingbird that has taken an interest to our backyard and our garden as of late. And we have like a compost bin for worms that's like a worm farm. And because there's like little bugs around, he flies around and eats them all. And then yesterday he went in the greenhouse and hung out. Quite cool. Isn't this a beautiful map? Random Ladybird, I am so sorry that I missed these before. I just assumed they were like coins on the ground. I should have paid more attention. My apologies. These fish are like piranhas because they ate a dragon. So we've had a hummingbird and a dragonfly or two been hanging out. We've also been seeing butterflies and bees. So they're taking note of our garden space. And we trimmed down one of our hedges to help improve the growth at the base. And we've started trimming back like all the runners on it. It's a lot of work. Hopefully before the end of the summer, our backyard will be just pristine. You hit it too well, right? Beautiful map though. Lovely build. Here, let's click these because we can reveal the tops like this. And you could see the little patios here where there's like a lovely little getaway. Nice elven vibe to it. Oh, Valari, thank you for dropping in. Welcome to the stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Appreciate the kind words. And also just wanted to say welcome, and you're welcome anytime. If you have any questions, concerns, feedback, suggestions, that's what I'm here for. I'd love to provide real-time assistance and guidance during the stream. Right now, we're showcasing maps from our bi-weekly map-making contest called the Dam Challenge. Which is essentially we pick a theme and let our community spend 2 weeks building and submitting maps, and then we showcase them on the stream. Anyway, appreciate you being here. 1 second, I'm hearing something in my room. I just want to check it out, see what it is. is my window air conditioner. Yeah, love the kind words and the positivity. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully we'll see you in the future. You use it for printed maps. That's really cool. Alrighty. Let's move on to... Oh, we already showed all the maps from the Dam Challenge. That was the one we showcased during the news segment. No, I think my air conditioner is just making a weird sound. Like it's like, you know, like after your car runs, it maybe has some creaks to it. I think it's just like making some funky sounds over in the corner. Is it just turned off or just turned on, one or the other? Is it Valeri or Valari? I want to make sure I get your name right. There's also a feature built into it when it's in eco mode that it sprays like the condensation on the compressor to help cool it. So I think that might be what it is. Valeri. Got it. Cool. Have you tried the new feature where you can break a large map into smaller printable sizes? Our most recent update incorporated that feature. Fantastic contributions to the Dam Challenge. Great work, everyone. Thank you so much for participating. Isn't it, TK? Okay, so we're going to go on to our next segment, which is Dungeon Alchemist Q&A. You know, I will pull up the winning map from the Dam Challenge, so that gets a little bit more airtime. Yeah, fantastic entries by all. Thank you for everyone that participated in the Dam Challenge. I appreciate you sharing your time and your creativity with the community. Uh-oh. EA just crashed. What? What? That's rare. So, Valeri, do you stream your sessions here on Twitch or something? Okay. Don't know why we just had a crash, but we did, regardless. We're going to leave this open while we're going to change our segment from the Dam Challenge to questions. So if you have any questions, support inquiries, you need guidance in your map making, your exports, maybe you are new to our stream and community and you have questions about Dungeon Alchemist in general. You wonder how it works or how it can be used. Maybe you have questions about our development and upcoming, features in our next major update. Let me know if you have any questions during this segment for the next, let's do 15, 20 minutes, then we will address those, okay? Can we get a list of the suggestions, Atlam? And by the way, quick reminder, if anyone has any suggestions for our next dam challenge. So our current theme was Hidden Place. The theme before was Tower. If you have any suggestions for our next dam challenge, let us know. So, Mr. Corpse Milk on, hey, Swamp, how you doing? Hold on TikTok, how you doing, Swamp? Sorry, okay, Mr. Corpse Milk, didn't mean to get distracted there, just had a bunch of messages come in all at once. Has a question on Twitch, and it is there any chance of there being multiple on the same map at once, editing together or playing as a VTT in real time? So, editing together, I'm not sure. That's something the devs haven't really talked about, that I've even heard them talk about. That said, Dungeon Alchemist does work through Steam Family Share, so if someone's on like your game share, you can share a copy with them, and or they can like remotely access your copy through remote play. So it is possible for two people to access one copy and kind of build a map together somewhat. That said, as far as like a cloud save or a multiplayer option for builds, I have not heard any discussions related to that or are aware of that being in our development path at this time. As far as a VTT is concerned, the devs have outright stated multiple times they want to, after we leave early access, after we've delivered all our promises on our Kickstarter, which, as many of you know, and some of you may not know, Dungeon Alchemist started as a Kickstarter. So essentially, we raised, a bunch of funds through a series of stretch goals. Each of those stretch goals had a theme tied to them, and those have been our various updates over the past few years. There's only 4.5 stretch goals remaining before we've delivered on all our Kickstarter promises. We're hoping to deliver a stretch goal update before the end of the summer, and hopefully another major update sometime into 2027. But until we've delivered on all those initial promises to our community who, got us to where we are today through our Kickstarter, we aren't going to be jumping into VTT support. What the devs have stated is most likely it will be a separate app. If we do address this, it would be a tool that works in tandem with Dungeon Alchemist, meaning it is a VTT that we make that works ideally as good as possible with Dungeon Alchemist maps. So I think the reason they don't want to incorporate a VTT into Dungeon Alchemist itself is it would probably add a lot of bloat and feature creep to the point where it may not be very usable as an app. So they want to have it focused on map making, right? And then a separate app that has what I would consider prime compatibility with Dungeon Alchemist. I think it is a safer approach, Fox. It's correct. We don't want Dungeon Alchemist to get bloated and get overfilled with content that many people may not use, or while a lot of people may want it, it's not necessarily part of the core product's goal. Does that make sense? So we understand you guys want this feature, and it'll likely be a separate tool. When how much, how we'll address it, will it be a new Kickstarter? I don't know. We'll find out when we cross that bridge as we get closer. Corpse Milk, I hope that answers your question. There really is not a straightforward way to answer that question, so sorry for the long-winded answer. I want to hire 100 monkeys to make my maps. Like they say, if you get tons of monkeys in a room with a typewriter, eventually you'll get Shakespeare. But, I mean, realistically, that's what's already happened on planet Earth. by the way, if any of you have questions related to our development, or have support inquiries, or need guidance in your map making, exports, anything. If you're new to our community and you have questions about what Dungeon Alchemist is and how you can use it for your tabletop campaigns, that's what I'm here for. Let me know. It's nice to meet you. If you're new here, my name is Mac. And for those that have been here, you know, forever now, repeat customers of this mayhem and torture, I very much appreciate you so very much, damn fam. Spinning wheel asset? Which one are you looking? Which one are you talking about? This one? You prefer fan? Fine, Chim, you can be a fan. Despite my protests. I could have sworn these had RNG to them. Oh, it does repeat itself? Bummer. I mean, is there really a situation where you're going to spin it enough times that your players would notice the pattern? Not to call out that, but I mean, in an instance, like, I mean, let's say you have 6 players, they spin it 6 times. There's at least, you know, 10 plus faces here. So I am realistically, it'd be hard to recycle through them. Oh, it reset when you came back. Got you. It's not going to store the information of the previous spins and keep... Yeah, it makes sense. It does probably start at the same point every time. I'll bring it up with Wim. I do know we have another item that has a similar kind of spin to it, like a gauntlet thing. Hold on. I could have sworn this had RNG too, but maybe it doesn't. Random Ladybird, all casinos are fixed. What are you talking about? Okay, hold on. We're going to make a copy of this. So the first thing it spins. Okay, we're going to make a copy of this one. We'll spin it. I think it does the same every time. No, it doesn't. It's definitely different with this one. So we can add RNG to it. I'll talk to the devs, but I do think it'll probably start every time you create a new one. So when I was younger, my dad he was a carpenter and he did trade work with a dude who like had this huge cabin in the middle of the woods that he was building his cabinets and stuff. And the guy paid him a bunch, you know, for the job, but he also traded him some, and he got a couple of slot machines. And one of them was a nickel machine that my dad kept in his cabinet shop, and the other one he fixed up and sold and ended up making a bunch of money off of it. The one in his cabinet shop, his friends would come over and drop nickels in it all the time, and I'd play it whenever I was there to keep me busy. But inside the machine, this is a physical machine with like mechanical spinning, right? It was like a Bally's nickel machine with like a crank handle. Inside, you could adjust the odds manually. Okay. Years later, in my neighborhood, on the curb, someone's like being evicted. There was a slot machine sitting on the curb. The people are unloading the house. I was like, hey, can I take this? They're like, yeah, go for it. We don't want it. And they thought it was broken. It was like one of those It wasn't a slot. It was like a poker machine. It was like a digital poker display. I took it home. I fixed it. My friends got crazy addicted to it, would play it all the time. And I was making hand over foot on this thing. My mom got upset about it because it was gambling and she was religious. So I ended up selling it, made a good amount of money off of it because I got it for free. So anyway, those are my slot machine stories. Slot machine inside that machine, digital, probably 10, 20 years newer than the Bally's machine, also had the ability to set the odds in it. So you could just go in and set the odds to like never win, basically, really low. So it's kind of messed up. But it's just crazy that they have a machine that they can quite literally manipulate the odds in instead of it just being all RNG. They could set it to be like 1 in a million, 1 in 1,000, 1 in, you know what I mean? But the only reason I got to learn about it is because I pulled it apart and spent time looking inside of it. I spent way too much time on slot machines as a little kid. But yeah, I will bring this up with our art team and Dev, our art lead, Wim, and ask him if we can add RNG to that spin wheel so it starts at a different point every time and spins a different thing every time. I don't know if we'll get a turn on that quickly. If we do, it'll likely be, in Fun with Objects 2. I think that's a relatively new thing, Asgard, though, in the last like 10, 20 years that you have to display the odds publicly. Corpse Milk, one thing kind of, I don't know, you might want to consider. Hold on. No, I get what your concern is here. So no, don't worry about it, man. I get it. It should always be different every time it's generated, or it should be at a different place every time it starts a new map. Like if you load up the map, it should be at a different location for sure. Okay, that one copied differently. That one copied differently. That one copied differently. So they're all going to a different thing. Huh. Weird. Don't know what to do. That's odd. Oh well. I'll talk to them. We'll see. We'll test it a little bit more. We'll find out. I mean, one thing are you playing in the map, I'm assuming, as you get to spin it? That makes sense. You're playing inside of Dungeon Alchemist? Uh-oh, it looks like we just lost the feed on TikTok. Gonna refresh. Gotcha. Dude, what I would do, put this wheel on a green screen map. So it's just that object and that's it. And then if you need to, just generate a new one, like a copy. Yeah, it seems like every time I've copied this one, though, it's all the same. So, oh, okay. No, it does. After the second one, it copies differently. That is definitely a bug. Something's going on here. I'll talk to the devs about it. You know what? This is a great idea for the landing page, actually. I like that. Yes, the variants do. Oh my God, there are variants. I didn't know there were variants for this. So when you duplicate this object, if you press tab, it cycles through a bunch of pre-generated versions of it. Though it does seem like one half of it is about the same. The whole, like, from about 4 p.m. to about 10 p.m. stays the same no matter what I do. I'll ask the devs about this, but a variant at least changes it a bit. The next update will actually have an icon in the UI letting you know when an object is a variant. It'll have 3 dots on it. So, you know, you can see if you can favorite an object. If an object's from the workshop, right, it'll have this little download icon. But if an object's a variant, it'll have 3 dots. Yeah, that makes sense. Each variant spins differently. That might be the case. Alrighty. Any more questions before we move on to our next segment? We're going to look for assets on the workshop. While we load this up, just give everyone a moment if there's any more questions. And while we're just waiting for this to load, just quick reminder, I will likely be announcing the giveaway today or tomorrow on our Discord with these bad boys. I was going to take some pictures with the 2 of them. It took me a few days and prints to get this just right. I printed one before that came out really junky looking. Had to change the printer configuration for multicolor to be a little bit better. Also had a couple failures. One failed in like the first 10%, one failed around 40%. And these prints take like a day. So if it fails at 40%, that's a lot of time, you know? So that said, now that I fine-tuned the configuration and I know the right temperatures and filaments, and this is I'm gonna probably print 1 or 2 of these a month, and we'll start giving away more of these bad boys. But going forward, when we do a plushie giveaway, there'll be a secondary, like, runner-up prize of a 3D printed Hendrik. Another thing I want to try and design 3D print-wise is a light box with our logo, like the Alembic, the Dungeon Alchemist Alembic. I'm going to look into how that works, because there's a light box creation tool for this printer. Going to figure that out. Hopefully, if I can, then maybe I'll print one out, put it in the stream room, or start sending them out to people as prizes. It would be great if there was an icon for objects that can take a download too. What do you mean? Like, meaning you can insert a picture into it? Is that what you're saying? Where'd my notebook go? Yeah, it would be nice if an icon was in the UI for items that are customizable. Agreed. So if a painting or a sign or a paper or anything, you could insert a custom an abstract. You know, it'd be great if technically all those items were in this menu too. Like, not just these abstract planes, but all the items that are customizable put into this menu. One moment. Sorry about that. No, that makes sense. Like if in here they're doing an abstract for these and then one that's like customizable objects. So it's like all the things you can insert images into. No, that makes dollars and cents, actually. I'm gonna suggest that. Hold on. I gotta write down a couple of things. I have another notebook that I got recently, then I can't remember where I put it. It had a new notebook. Yeah, my headset is indeed green, Zach. So I got my note on the spin wheel. And then, hey, Morgana, how are you? Welcome back. And then I'm going to take a note here on, let's see here. Customizable. Asset UI icon and custom menu location. I'm old school, so I grew up taking paper notes in school, right? And then in middle school and high school, computers became more popular when I was in school, and so they wanted you to take paper notes still, and then you had to have a draft handwritten, usually your rough draft, and then you'd go to a second draft in computer, and then your first draft, your final draft or whatever would be on computer. That's how my writing experience was in school. So I spend a lot of time writing notes, handwriting them. And a lot of people are like, why do you handwrite notes? I'm like, first off, I like the tactile feel, helps me remember it better. And it also like lets you know I'm actually taking notes. Like we didn't get computers in school. We had a computer lab. We had a couple computer labs, you know, and there was a couple free computers in the library, but like that anyone could use if in their free time. But oh my goodness, like, and people were starting to get personal computers at home more regularly. Let's see here. So we got customizable asset UI icon and menu location. And then I'm going to put in parentheses abstracts. Cool. Got some things to share with the devs. We're picking out a theme for our next Dam Challenge, which is our ongoing map making contest. The current theme was Hidden Place. This was the winning map. And then we're going to pick a new challenge. So the next 2 weeks, our community, anyone interested, can make a map of any shape or size using that theme as inspiration. And then submit it before the deadline for a chance to win a $10 Hero Forge gift card and have their map promptly featured in our weekly newsletter, the Cartomancer Chronicles, as well as the first map featured in the Dam Challenge segment on the stream. Let's see here. Well, Zach, there's two ways. First off, you have flat roofing is an option, so you can just change your roof to a flat roof, right? But in the case of this map, this is very specially done. What they've done is technically each of these roofs are rooms without their roof. It's just a flat section and they put in a custom floor. Because the roofing's great, but they almost all have borders, and maybe you wanted like a plain kind of just like this roof. Technically, any room can be a roof as well. You just got to delete the roof from it and the walls. So if you go into the floor options, there's hundreds of flat roofing options, technically. You could have a straw roof if you wanted to. So in this case, we made a straw roof, right? Little thatch blend. That looks really nice, actually. So because all of these are just floors, they're rooms without walls and ceilings, they act as a flat roof. And then the creator, in the walls, there are half walls, roof borders, right? That you can just add crenulations, posts, whatever. These look really great on these types of roofs in a desert. Great additions in this case. So essentially, instead of just relying on what's the angled roofs and flat roofing options, which there's quite a bit, you can then extrapolate from that and instead make this a room, which when you're generating a room on top of a floor, right? You can generate the room and just under the settings menu here, when you generate a room, say no objects, no walls, and no roof. So you just generate it with flooring only, right? And at this point, you can then change the floor to whatever you want. You want it to be bricks. This kind of looks like, yeah, you can do thatch. You have all sorts of options. You could do mud. It essentially expands your roofing options exponentially. Because any floor can now be a roof. In this case, they did the worn plaster. It looks really good in these building types. That looks really good too. I did not. You asked news on that? I must have missed it in chat. Sorry. What was the question? Any news on empty bottles? I haven't heard anything. I'll ask again. I must have missed it, Random Ladybird. Honestly, I'm watching 5 different chats, and sometimes I miss things. Oh, she asked me a few streams ago about empty bottles, if they'd be added in Dungeon Alchemist in the future. I never really heard back on it, so I'm going to bring it up again. But it's a good question because we have lots of bottles that have a potion in them or something, and it'd be cool, and you can change what's in them, like the color, or change it to a different substance, but it'd be cool if there was an empty option, because we have a lot of cool bottles that could be a lot, very useful as well if they could just simply be empty, right? I mean, empty versions of every cup, of every bottle, of it, you know what I mean? Particularly, that's what she's looking for. Because it would be nice to have empty versions of all of these, right? Or when you click on it and place it, you can change the color. One of these options should be empty, in my opinion. Instead of 2 browns, let's go with an empty one in there, Clear, exactly. A clear substance would be great. Or just nothing. I like 1 brown is good. We have 3 greens that are so close to each other. We could probably get one of the greens, just make it, and keep the other ones. Or one of the browns and have a clear option. Anyway. Cool. Let's go to the workshop, and we're going to pull up some assets. Since we addressed all the questions. And have we picked a theme yet? I wouldn't say that's the maximum amount of colors there could be. We just tried to set color themes based on, you know, viability and like potential need. So for like candles and many objects, you can adjust their colors through the different filters available. Some of them, there's a slider for hue changing, which was our first attempt at color shifting. Eventually the hue slider is going to go away for most objects, and then you'll have like a palette of colors to choose between. The reason being is we go through and customize each color, the lighting, the effects for it. There's like crystals, candles, a bunch of different objects. You can change them. Okay, let's go to the asset browser. What I love to do is get on here and sort by most recent. And when you sort by most recent, you can see all the new things being added to the workshop. I do want to just let you know, when you're on the workshop and you're looking at assets, you can highlight them and at a glance get information about them. You could see the name, the size. So this is 4.48 megabytes, so just under 4.5 megabytes. A little bit of information. You can see how many people have liked it, downloaded it, who uploaded it, etc. So you don't even have to open it to get that information. Sack, actually, one of our very prolific creators and sharers in our community, uploaded a ton of cool pipes over the last few days. Let's take a look at some of these, see what they look like. Not only are they small in size, they're good quality, they match the DA aesthetic, and are a great addition to your, you know, industrial, you know, areas or themed maps. I saw that. We'll check that out next. Let's turn off collisions so we can make this a little bit larger. So as soon as you get up to about here, those textures are not that worth it anymore. But I'd say right here, it's reasonable. You know, that's very true, tropism. There's only a handful of items in DA that allow you to do that. That kind of thing. But yeah, these are a great little set piece. Put them on the side of a building, you know, in like a slum or in an industrial area or in a, you know, a lich's lair, whatever. Sewer, yep, great. Let's just take prison as the winner because it's got the clear lead right now. I don't think it's gonna change. Quick reminder, everyone, if you are enjoying the stream today, can you do me a favor? Make sure you hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button. That way, you know, you can share the stream to other potential, you know, DMs, GMs, TTRPG enthusiasts, cartographers who might be interested in Dungeon Alchemist, but also, you know, if you're enjoying the stream yourself and you want to be able to tune in the future, hitting that subscribe or follow button means you can follow along with our future streams more easily. Oops. We're in the workshop segment, so I need to change that. Now that I've got the second Stream Deck, I keep forgetting I can program all of these changes into the singular Stream Deck that's on my other computer and that never switches, because one switches every time I do my KVM switch. My keyboard, mouse, and Stream Deck switch between them because I needed them on both machines. Hey, see you later, DM Crusader. You have a good one. Let's check out another asset. We're going to go look at Random Ladybird. We're a very small team, Zach, less than 10 total. So that's counting like myself. I'm the entire community team. Our admin team is one person. We have a handful of developers, I think, 3-4 developers, a handful of artists, 3-4 artists, and then myself and our admin team. So we are basically the epitome of an indie team. About the only way it can get less indie or like more indie than us is solo indie, right? But I love our team. We all work remotely. The majority of our team is based in Belgium, right? Vast majority of our team. I'm the only person based in the US. And then there's a couple others throughout Europe. But man, it's so fun working remotely with a team like this. And I feel like we're able to accomplish so much because of it. Hey, Keeper, welcome back. How you doing? This looks really good. Got a good sheen to it, like a nice shine. Appreciate that, Fox. Keeper, you can already do that in several ways. We have a feature that if you export your map for print, you can slice it up into paper size prints. So you can set the paper size and it'll slice it up into equal paper size prints. So you can print and then just stitch them together at home for printing out massive maps at home. Alternatively, if you take a large map that already exists, the corners of the map have little symbols on them, chevrons that you can grab that kind of look like these, and then you can drag the map inward and outward. Let me show you. I'll open up a map. So let's say I want to take this map here. Let me show you really quickly. Now, let's say you want to cut a map down that's too large into smaller maps, so it's easier to load on your virtual tabletop. Maybe you found one in the workshop that's just too big for you to work with. You can take any map and shrink it, cut it down into smaller maps. So first things first, you take the master map, you got your map, and you would go into File, Save As, and then make a new map of this exact map. It's a copy, and this will be, Stranglewood Estates, Slice 1, or Cut 1, or Corner 1, Quadrant 1, whatever you want it to be, okay? Once you've saved as and you have a new map, you then go into the corner. That way you don't destroy your master version of the map, right? And then you grab this little chevron here and you can just drag in. So let's say I just want to remove that portion of the map to shrink it down a little bit. I drag it to there, let go, and it deletes that portion of the map like it never existed. And now I can save again, and it is now just a smaller portion of that map. And if the map is dividable, subdividable, it's easier. Like, let's say there's a street you can cut up to. It's a little bit easier. Dividing this in two probably wouldn't be ideal if you split it right down the middle, because it would put a wall at the end of this building. But in some instances, you could cut around it or cut it down. Depending on the way the map is made, it is possible to subdivide it much smaller. So remember the save as part, though. That's really important because you don't want to destroy your beautiful primary master map that you're deriving all of the works from, right? So every time you do a save as, cut it down, save that map again, open the master map, save as, cut that map down again. Does that make sense? Also, when it comes to backups, it's smart to upload your maps to the workshop, even if you just leave them as private. When you upload a map to the workshop, right? When you publish a map, you could set it to private, or you could set it to friends only, or you could set it to public. If you set it to private, you have a backup of your map on the workshop cloud. Okay. In the data industry, 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is 2. Okay. So you want to have backups of your maps. I have maps stored on 2 physical drives, a flash drive, and in the cloud in multiple locations. Even if you don't plan to share, just using Steam's data as a free data backup for your maps is great. Why not? GitHub, G Drive, any number of cloud-based services, OneDrive, there's tons of them out there that give you some free service or some free data storage, right? I have a flash drive that I keep like a lot of important documents on that's in a fire safe in my home. So it's like got all my passwords and stuff. It's like you want to have that stuff in multiple locations, multiple computers, multiple places. But when it comes to maps, I have 2 external drives, an internal drive, the workshop, my Google Drive. I have tons of backups. Anyway. So if you were exporting this map and you set it to print, right? You can actually set the paper size in here. There's a bunch of pre-configured paper sizes, or you can set a custom paper size and it'll automatically slice that map up into that many paper sizes. So if it's set for print and you set it to the paper size, it'll automatically subdivide it for you for print. There is Mr. Corpse Milk. Yeah, it overlaps the prints so they can overlap each other in a way that it's really, instead of them being perfectly seamed to each other, you gotta like line them up and tape them perfectly. There's a little bit of cover on each end that's like extra so you can overlap them. It's really nice. They kind of like leaf together, sort of like dragon scales. So along the lines of these questions when it comes to terrain brushes and suggestion with more terrain brushes. So there is basically when Dungeon Alchemist was being developed, early development, in order to speed up our development and get us out into early access quicker so people could get on their hands on the beta and the live version, we opted to use a module within Unity for terrain textures. That module is something that's developed and maintained by someone else, and it has limitations, especially for this use case. It was great. It allows us to plug in a few terrain brushes, quickly paint them in. It's like a pre-configured tool, okay? The devs have always stated they plan to gut that and redesign it from the ground up, essentially, so it's our own. That said, what that will entail, will it be every brush in every biome? Will you have custom terrain brushes? I don't know. But right now, there's a severe limitation. Every biome needs to have both liquid and terrain brushes. And the more terrain brushes there are, there's essentially diminishing returns on the performance of Dungeon Alchemist. So if we add beyond the kind of limit in each biome, it starts running really poorly. Okay. So every time we launch a new biome, we add new terrain paints. So there will always be kind of, as long as we're in development and there's new biomes and stuff being added, there will be new terrain paints. But that said, individual biomes likely won't get extra paints added to them until we redesign the terrain paint brush system. Pokey Tavern, there's animated NPCs already if you go to the workshop and download any of the animated tokens or NPCs available there. Many of them that are animated are listed as such, or the file size is usually pretty obvious because they're larger. And you can also import animated assets through the asset importer here. So if you can make animated assets or source them online, you can import them custom. That said, we have plenty of animated assets we incorporate already into Dungeon Alchemist. We also add tokens through our partners. You can incorporate, like Hero Forge tokens, or we add tokens through from our partner Bite the Bullet every update, pretty much. None of those tokens are animated, but it is still possible to have animated NPCs or tokens through the asset importer or the workshop. I think, though, because ultimately most maps are still, most people play them if they are animated in a virtual tabletop where you manage your NPCs and tokens there. Typically, most people don't need an animated token in a map. But it is, if you play within DA, I can understand how you want that. Or you just want an NPC to be like on a loop or moving, kind of like how a guard would or something. There are plenty of animated assets to accomplish that, or you can, like I said, import your own. Excuse me. So did I explain how to split up the map adequately? Hey, see you later, Night Demon. You have a good one. And also discuss terrains. By the way, like one of the number one complaints I get about terrain is people are being like, I'm trying to make a deserted island, but there's no sand, right? There is sand, but it's in a certain biome. Certain biomes have access to sand. So the 3 biomes that give you access to sand are Badlands, Desert, and Grasslands. Kind of counterintuitive with Grasslands, but the Grasslands does have actually the most terrain brushes out of any biome. That or Badlands, I believe. And Feywild. But if you look here, it has over 2 rows of brushes. I actually like the Grasslands biome for that diversity alone. But having access to sand in the biome, you could always generate this as, say, you know, an island. And then go into this sand here, for instance, and then just make yourself an island. Just because you can't generate a perfect desert island in a couple of clicks doesn't mean it's not possible. I think we get so pampered by how easy DA is that we often forget that it's possible to just whip up a map by hand in a few seconds. You know what I mean? But I'm sure many of you have noticed when you're using the terrain brushes, it'll like lag out or have issues. Like right now for me, even with my nice stream machine, it's lagging out because the terrain tool is just not that great. It needs optimization, and we just need to redo it from the ground up, most likely. But that said, now we have, you know, deserted island. Heck, we can make this whole thing desert, maybe with just like a little oasis with like a little bit of green. Little pool of water here, right? And then add some trees using the jungle brush. Done. Yep. So that was actually something I requested because we had the cave biome, but it only had the one color, right? When you go into the cave biome, it's just the one gray color. And a lot of people are like, well, what if you want a cave in the desert or in the snow or whatever? And I was like, can we add the cave biome to or the cave setting to every biome? So if you go to, say, snow, right? You have in here a cave system you can generate. And what's cool about doing that is that means you get access to all the terrain paints in this, you know, this biome, right? So, we have some ice, but the default for the snow terrain biome, it actually does rock like this, which is kind of a bummer. But if you just take the ice, I'm actually going to ask the devs to change this. Because you could go over it with like this snow and the ice and just change that. And it turns into an ice cave. So I just take this really quickly, cover all this rock, right? You can even leave some of the rock kind of poking through. It doesn't need to be 100% snow and ice. Okay, so we quickly painted that, and then you mix in some of this blue here and there, and it starts looking like an ice cave. It looks amazing. This is one of my favorite customizations for the terrain tools. And it didn't take me but like 2 minutes to do this. So you can take the desert biome, generate a desert cave that uses the sandstone rock. It's just nice to have access to these different paints inside of, you know, and build a cave in a different biome. Have y'all ever built a cave in the hellscape, the skeletal plains biome? Was what a secret update? So the skeletal plains caves look hellish, right? But you have access to all these paints, and these are like, this looks like you're inside of a living creature instead of, you know, rock. So you could make, like, I've made a map that's like, I call Belly of the Beast, and it's like the inside of a creature, like you got swallowed by a gargantuan creature. So while you may not get something that can generate this directly, it's very easy to customize. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, there's like that the eye thing, right? Ugh, this thing is so gross. So gross. By the way, if you put this on a freestanding wall, let's see here. Any freestanding wall would do. I'm pretty sure it'll snap to it. Nope, did not. Did not work. Okay. Will not snap to it. Bummer. It needs two. It is totes grody. I was hoping to snap it to this. It just will not snap. Bummer. But you get the idea. That's the second time that's been asked this stream, Pokey Tavern, so it gets asked a lot. Sometimes, like, honestly, I feel like I'm being trolled by the community because it'll be asked like 6 times in a single stream sometimes. Or if we ever plan to do 3D export. So wall snappable objects, technically, when they like snap onto a wall, like a painting or like a lamp, usually they don't have the option to, like, some of them you can't resize, like that eye we just snapped right to the wall. But there's a trick that if you can snap it to a freestanding wall, then you can resize the freestanding wall. This one, though, it requires 2 walls to do it, so it will not work in this case, unfortunately. That said, we have another eye we could just incorporate into this. Can you paint blood? Yes and no. So we do have the, you know, river option with liquids that has blood. So technically, in the purest sense, I am in, by all means, painting blood. But if you want like footprints or tracks or something like that, we don't have a direct method for painting blood at this time other than using abstract objects. So if you take the object menu, Zach, here, and then go to these objects here, they're called abstracts. These are customizable. You can insert custom images into them. So if you take one of these and place it on the ground, right? Just going to scale it up, and I'll insert a custom image into it. So let's do... Hard to see on this backdrop, but you get the idea. So you could do also like footprints, any image you could import, you could do here. Now, this feature is going to get an upgrade in the future. Unfortunately, I just got confirmation from the devs that the decal tool will not be done in time for Fun with Objects to launch. So the person who is making the decal tool in our team, Xander, they joined our team, started working on the tool, made a ton of progress, and then left the team unexpectedly. There's a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes that happened. I don't want to get into it, but basically the tool is unfinished and our lead developer will have to dive into this other person's work, figure out what they did and finish it, which he has no idea how long that'll take. And there's still plenty of other features for Fun with Objects that need to be finished before we work on the decal tool. So I know it's confusing and frustrating because we're showing teasers for the decal tool before the Fun with Objects 1 update, but then Xander left our team and it's not finished. So there were some bugs and issues with it that need to be sorted out. And unfortunately, it likely won't make it in Fun with Objects 2. That is pretty much almost a guarantee. If it makes it, it'll be awesome and a bonus. The devs have said that they're going to have a follow-up patch to Fun with Objects 2, kind of like the fine print patch that we just did. That would be a patch including a bunch of hot fixes, quality of life improvements, such as that feature, the decal tool. So it'll be just a minor patch sometime in the months after Fun with Objects 2. But the abstract objects is one method, Zach, and then the other is the workshop, okay? Hop on the workshop because searching blood, there's tons of blood puddles, trails. You could just download these and place them on the map too. Way better than the abstracts because then you don't need to source an image or make one. You just download one of these. The alternative, the third and final option at this time is importing your own. The asset importer right here. You can import custom 3D models. So if you can make a 3D model of a blood splatter or a footprint, there are a lot of features and like assets. So it becomes hard to remember all the things packed in this tool. I can understand it. So you've got the workshop, the asset importer, and the abstracts. 3 options at your fingertips. Hey, is it Colosinos? Thank you so much for the kind words. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? All right, we got a couple minutes left, so we're gonna just open up one of these maps and I'm gonna just showcase tokens for the last few minutes here. So there are tokens on the Steam Workshop. You can browse the assets here and click to the token section on the left. And as long as it was configured as a token when it was uploaded by the creator, then you can sort through and download it as such, and it'll be in the token menu, okay? Not in the object menu. But there are 200 characters tokens labeled as characters, over 550 labeled as monsters, and over 390 labeled as NPCs, many of which high detailed, full color. Some are animated, okay? What I love to do is come into the token section and search animated. Someone was asking about animated tokens earlier, NPCs. Was it Poke Tavern? Go into the asset browser, Poke Tavern, go to Steam Workshop asset browser, click tokens, and then type animated. Then you can see all of them in here that have been labeled as animated in the description or the title, okay? So you could add these as NPCs to your maps. There is at least 2 pages, 70 plus labeled as animated, so that's a good start. The workshop is a great tool, but it is kind of a monkey's paw, okay? The assets on the workshop are great. There's so many very talented artists in our community, but many of the assets uploaded to the workshop were done so with little care. Some were just sourced from online and uploaded without being, optimized for this use case. So some of them are incredibly large in size or poorly optimized. That's nothing against the creator or uploader. That's just some 3D assets are better designed for this use case than others, right? So when you're on the workshop, be very careful when you're downloading assets. Look at their size, right? You can see here 2.54 megabytes. This one, a koi fish group that's animated though, 10 megabytes, not too bad, right? But there's some assets on here that are quite literally hundreds of megabytes. And that is a bad habit to get into. First off, if you start downloading every asset under the sun, you'll start inevitably downloading some that are poorly optimized. And those poorly optimized ones will drag down your performance in Dungeon Alchemist. And also, inevitably, if all you do is download small assets, eventually you're going to bog down Dungeon Alchemist as well. So while they're great, it's best to just use them as you need them and unsubscribe from them like once a month, once every few weeks. You can unsubscribe from all through Steam, or you can unsubscribe right through the workshop. So if you have, an asset that you've subscribed to, you could click on it and click unsubscribe. That though is one at a time. Through Steam, you can do it clicking on them in a list really quickly, or you can unsubscribe from all. So the thing is all the assets on the workshop, think of them like a mod. Every one of them modifies Dungeon Alchemist, and the more mods you add to a base program, inevitably it'll start running sluggish and have issues, right? Every one of these assets need to preload into your RAM before Dungeon Alchemist can load, whether it's the first time loading DA or a new map. So if you have 40 gigs of assets downloaded and you only have 60 gigs of RAM, you've essentially kneecapped yourself and you only have like 20 gigs of RAM left. Now imagine if you only have 32 gigs of RAM or 16 gigs of RAM. I've seen it to the point where people have downloaded so many assets they can't even load DA without it crashing their computer, because it's a vicious cycle. They're free. You want to have as many of them as possible, but some of them are poorly optimized and will inevitably cause issues. Tropism, depending on how powerful your computer is, can usually get around it. That said, usually when you unsubscribe from like a map or something, can get around it. So the workshop just updated in Steam, so it looks different now. But if you click on, you go to your library, go to Dungeon Alchemist, click Workshop. If you click your items here, right, you can click subscribed items and see how many you've subscribed to. And from here, you can click unsubscribe from all, or you can click on them one at a time and unsubscribe from them really quickly. But if you're ever running into an issue where DA is running slower, or it's taking longer, or it won't load at all, this is usually the first go-to, is just unsub from all assets. They're free. You can get at them again. Anytime you open a map that needs them, it'll prompt you to download them. So even if your own maps need them, it'll prompt you to download them. The only reason I would suggest holding on to assets, hoarding them, is if you are on a limited data plan through your internet provider, or a throttled data plan where you only have X amount of data per month, and you can't just willy-nilly unsubscribe, delete, and re-download things on a whim. Asmodeus has been putting together a website full of resources and information for like optimizing assets and bringing them over to Dungeon Alchemist. As well as Night Vision just released an update on his tool, the Blender to DA tool. So our community actually has a whole bunch of resources and information. Our wiki has some resources as well, but there's tools that speed up the conversion and decimation and optimization for converting from Blender to Dungeon Alchemist. I mean, if you live in a rural region, you might have a limited internet through like a cell phone provider or something. You know what I mean? Or if you live in an impoverished region, internet speeds aren't always guaranteed, or internet isn't always readily available. But Asmodeus shared a link for a website he's been putting together in our Discord. It is in the tips and tricks section, I believe. You can check it out. It's got a whole bunch of documentation for, essentially for optimizing your models that you find online or make yourself in Blender, and how to bring them to DA. Sorry, I didn't have a command for it saved, and I didn't remember the link offhand. But I do know we have the link in our Discord so people can check it out. You got to add the HTTPS if you want the link to be a hot link stuff. You got to add all that junk. I don't know what happened. Oh, our TikTok feed is back. Earlier it crashed, it wouldn't come back, and now it's back. Anyway, it is actually time to wrap up the stream, unfortunately. One nice thing, though, that video games have is they can pre-render the environment, right? So when you have a pre-rendered environment, it tends to cut back on load times, poly count, everything, right? With Dungeon Alchemist, the environment is rendered in real time. So all of these assets, all of the lighting, all of the effects, all of the animations, all rendered simultaneously in real time. You can actually see Dungeon Alchemist performance decrease the more you have on screen, because it's like a flashlight render. The more visible on screen, the more burden it'll be on your computer. So it's not just a larger map, it's how far you are zoomed out on a map. You could make a massive 200 by 200 map as long as you just focus on a 20 by 20 section of it at any given point and don't zoom out much further. Anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out today. I had a lot of fun. Geronimo, I know you weren't here earlier. If you're here now, congrats again on the Damn Challenge win, and I'll be reaching out to you between now and Monday afternoon with your prize, a $10 Hero Forge gift card. For those interested in our next Damn Challenge, prison is the theme. And let me put that up on there really quickly. Prison is the theme, and you have between now and the 12th of June to submit your entries. So you can work on your map from now until the 12th of June, end of day in your time zone. So wherever you live, you have till midnight, basically, or 11:59 p.m. in your time zone on Friday the 12th to submit your entry. You submit it to our Discord. In our Discord, there's a channel labeled Damn Challenge. And in that challenge is a pinned message at the top of the channel. You can find the pins. Pins are messages that are always present that you can read anytime. But the pinned message at the top shows the rules for this challenge. So you must adhere to those rules when submitting your map and submit it before the deadline to qualify. Okay? As long as you submitted your map before the qualifying time, the deadline, and your map is qualified, you have a chance to win a $10 Hero Forge gift card. I sit down, I look at every map, judge them privately before the stream, pick a winner. That map is the first map featured on the stream. It is also highlighted in our weekly newsletter, the Cartomancer Chronicles. So if you're the winner, you get a prize. You get to flex your mapmaker muscle on our cartographer community. And it's just a great way to show off your skills and just practice in general. It's not about winning or being better than anyone else. It's really just about pushing yourself to new limits as a cartographer and game master. So, if you're interested in participating in the Damn Challenge, make a map of any shape or size using Prison as inspiration. Submit that map before June 12th, end of day, and you have a chance to win a prize. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the stream today. I had so much fun hanging out with all of you. Very much appreciate you tuning in, whether it was your first stream or your 100th stream. Thank you so much for being here. Moderators, thank you for being elite mods, Atlam and Asmodeus, for being available and providing support today and guidance and links and time slots and other information. Our viewers today, whether it's your first stream or your 100th stream, whether you were actively chatting or just lurking, you're all important to me as the community manager, and you're all important to our community. Thank you so much for being here, for supporting these community initiatives, and for being a part of our DAM fam. We'll be back on Monday with Mapmaker Monday, which is a stream that starts at 9 a.m. Pacific. That is 12 p.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. UTC, runs about 2.5 hours. We're working on building a landing page, which is an interactive landing screen that is essentially an interactive set piece, similar to like a loading screen in a video game, or a loading screen for a DVD, where it has like a bunch of information and content relevant to the story or campaign in this instance. Making one for my campaign with my friends and family. So here is our world map, some images of our characters, content that's relevant to our campaign. We'll be adding more and more to this on Monday, and hopefully finish this map relatively quick. Anyway, if you want to learn more about these types of maps and what they are and how they work and how you can incorporate them into your campaign, feel free to tune in on Monday. The whole stream is hosted AMA format, which means ask me anything. So you can tune in and learn from the building, but also ask questions related to Dungeon Alchemist and get your, support or guidance live during the stream. Okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is available on Steam. We offer a free demo so you could try before you buy. Please keep in mind that it is a limited pie, a slice of the overall pie in the demo. You get access to one of 12 biomes and only one building type, a tavern, and a limited set of objects. But it's still very fun, and it gives you the ability to make a map and export it, whether you like to print your maps or export them for virtual tabletops or digital play surfaces such as projectors or TV tabletops. All of those options are available in our demo. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. I am going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and we're going to end the stream. Thank you again. We'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye. Gotta mute that music.
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta, and before
Who do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him.
But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever, find family, kill entire bloodline. I like it.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin, that's a very impressive cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive? This map I have
To the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta. Please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered mapmaker, on Steam.
All right. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate you so very, very much. I'll catch you throughout the week in our Discord or social media or throughout the weekend. And if not, we'll see you Monday for Mapmaker Monday. Mac out. Bye.